Okay, we're back. We're live. We're here. It's the last show of the month, or rather of the week. It's April 3rd, and we're having the science fair because the science fair took place only, last weekend? No, this week. No, last week. When was the science fair? Okay, somebody must know. Yeah. Okay. Now, this is the State Science Fair, HSSEF, the Hawaii State Science and Engineering Fair. It's very important. The Academy of Science, Hawaii Academy of Science, has existed since 1922. And shortly thereafter, it began doing these science fairs, and it has been doing these science fairs all this time. And the science fairs are an iconic and spiritual, may I say that, a spiritual experience for the kids of Hawaii, and they in turn respond accordingly. So we happen to have the chair of the Hawaii State Science Fair. That is the State Academy of Science, and that is Andrea Fleig. So Andrea, say hi and tell us why you're here.
Hello, I'm Andrea, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting us, Jay. We are a great supporter of the Hawaii State Science and Engineering Fair, and we are here because we want to support the sciences. Our mission is to promote science and education in Hawaii, in our state, and across the Pacific. And one of our programs happens to be the largest science fair in the state, the Hawaii State Science and Engineering Fair.
Okay, very important. And P.S., if you're interested, we just submitted a movie to OC16, which will play on Sunday night, this Sunday. What's that? What's the date on Sunday? I'm having trouble.
April something.
April 5th. Huh?
So today's Friday?
Today's
Friday,
3rd, and
April
the 5th. Yeah, Sunday.
April 5th, Sunday at 10:30 p.m., which is actually prime time. And will concern itself with the 2015 State Science Fair, and you can see dozens and dozens of the kids there who told us about their projects. It was probably the most detailed movie we've ever. We made movies like this 3 or 4 years now, but this was probably the most detailed one. Thanks to Lindsay, who helps us run around and connect with people.
Absolutely.
So, Andrea, tell us about what the Academy does. Tell us about how much it takes to actually do the science fair every year.
So it's, what all we see is just the actual event, which takes 2.5 days. But actually, it's an ongoing annual event. We start right now, again, to prepare for the next science fair, because it covers 9 districts across all the state of Hawaii, all counties in Hawaii, school districts. It involves hundreds of schools. We reach over 9,000 students every single year. And basically, we start out with school science fairs, and the winners then go to the district fairs, and it culminates in the state science fair. And at the end, I'll tell you where that will go as the next step. So it involves hundreds of volunteers. We had 300 volunteers, 200 judges, hundreds of teachers, and as I said, thousands of students. So that's quite a grassroots community effort if you think about it.
Yeah. So I have 3 why questions.
Okay.
The first why question is, why is the Hawaii Academy of Science doing this initiative, this program, this event every year, so many years?
Well, we've been doing this for 58 years now, and it's really our mission to promote science and education in Hawaii. Our economy is really dependent on technology. And technology is driven by science and by innovation and even by entrepreneurship. All 3 really go together. And the Hawaii Academy of Science plays its part by starting with the science part. And for that, we need our youth to be exposed to science. Yes, music is important. Art is important. All these things are very important. And science is important. You have to have a scientific mind, and then you can choose if you want to go into science or not. You see what is going on there, and all we want is exposure, and then you decide where you want to take your career for our economy, for our state.
Okay. The second why.
Okay, I'm ready.
Why do the kids do this? What motivates them to come down and spend all that time, and present, to people they don't know, the judges they don't even know, and invest themselves for so many hours and weeks and months?
Curiosity. They want to know. They want to know what it is like. They have questions, and they realize they can answer their questions with mentors together, and they find out, and then they see, I answered this question, and oops, there's another question that came out of the first question. And so that's how science works. You answer questions, but you're never really finished. So it drives, curiosity drives the whole process.
Yeah, that's great. And, kids are curious.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes.
other people are also curious.
Do we remain curious,
Yes,
you
we
think?
remain curious. The people who remain curious are the kids for all their lives.
That's right. That's
My
right.
third why question, okay, is why do you do it? You are a senior with Queen's Hospital. You're a researcher. You're a PhD in science. Why do you spend the time?
Well, I have been, as you mentioned, a biomedical researcher for over 20 years. I won't say the exact date, but it's over 20 years. And when I started up my research lab, I realized that I need talent. I need succession. For me, it's really about succession planning. And so because I understand research and science, I want to pass on that knowledge. First, I did it as a mentor. I had many students in my laboratory who actually did projects, went on to science fairs. Some won, some didn't, but the experience was there. Many went into medicine or into biomedical arenas. Now I'm doing it more because I have reached a new level. Now I'm seeing, okay, I can perhaps with 20 years of accumulated experience, I can share some more and be more an adult rather than a researcher, being all curious and stuff.
Yeah. I remember one thing you said to me, which I'm not sure I captured on the video we submitted to OC16, but it was something about this is what gets you up in the morning.
It does. That is right.
Explain how that works.
Well, my dad told me that if you choose a job, you have to like it most of the time. You cannot possibly like it all of the time. There will be difficult times and there will be wonderful times. But for me, it turns out that research and finding things and discovering things, seeing things for the first time, you have to imagine nobody has seen what you've seen at this point in time. That is what gets me up in the morning. And that's why I'm still in research, although I'm also in administration. But the research part is that it's the discovery. It's what awaits new, what is new today to this world, to me, and then I can share with the world.
And these kids, they're right on the cutting edge, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's meet two of them. We got Christopher Lindsay to your left, who is a star. He's been on this show before. Hey, Christopher Lindsay, all right, okay. We're happy to have you. We're honored to have all of you guys. But Christopher, tell us about how you got into science and whether it gets you up in the morning, too.
All right, yeah. Well, hello, everyone. I'm Christopher Lindsay. I'm a sophomore at Leialoha School. And I've been doing science fair ever since I was in sixth grade. So I've been in 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I've been in 5 science fairs. And I had the absolute pleasure of going to states all 5 times.
Whoa.
And I've had a fantastic time every year I've done science fair. I've done different projects in different areas of science. My first 2 years were in meteorology, studying weather and weather patterns. And my second 2 years were in astronomy, looking for these things called extrasolar planets, which may hold the secret to finding extraterrestrial
How
life.
come you don't settle down?
I don't
You
know.
seem to change your direction
It's
every
because
year.
I'm
What is that?
curious. I want to know more about different things. And this past year, I did a project on oceanography and environments in the deep ocean. So I've been doing lots of science fairs over a long time, and I've kept on being curious about different areas of science. Yeah.
You're a follow-through guy. There's 2 kinds of people in the world. There's the follow-through people and the others. Okay, follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your plan in this life, to the extent that you may have set one out?
Well, I'm definitely interested in science. I maybe even want to continue science in college like my sister did. She's a molecular biologist in Yellowstone in Montana. So I definitely want to continue my scientific career in the future. But I'm also trying to do other things, especially in my school. I'm class president right now, which is fun.
The burdens of office, yeah.
Yeah, and I also try to get involved with things like History Bowl Club.
Scientists could be governors and mayors.
Oh yeah, that'd be
legislators.
fantastic.
We need more of them in those offices.
Get more money in the science.
I agree. I second that.
Okay, well, so what about the fair itself now? This fair, this is Passover, so we ask you Passover questions, and one of the Passover questions in the Passover Seder is, why is this night different from all other nights? So I'm turning that a little and asking you, why was this fair different from all other fairs?
Well, for the 5 fairs that I've been in, for the first few years, I didn't have a lot of friends in science fair. I didn't know a lot of people already. I tried to get to know people, and I did. And this past year, I've had tons of friends. I know a lot of people at science fair. So the process with me through all 5 of these science fairs has really been not just a thinking process, like a process to help my knowledge, but also a process to help my people skills, and also to help me get more friends. So in this past science fair, I've had a lot of friends, like Brandon, and all the people sitting in the back of the studio right now. And I'm really thankful that I was able to meet all these great people in science fair.
Yeah, I have footage, and every time we took a picture of you last week, you were happy. Every single picture was a happy picture. By the way, we had a program in January, which was actually a program organized by the Hawaii Academy of Science and Andrea at the Laniakea YWCA. We called it Hawaii, the State of Science. And we looked at what the fair had done, what the Academy had done. We looked at a bunch of research scientists, and we decided we'd have one kid there too. So actually, Chris was that kid. Everybody was saying, "Who is that kid? Where did he come from? What kind of a kid is that?"
Research.
He was the star of the show.
Oh, I hope so. Maybe.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would say that, Brandon, you have a hard act to follow, but let's follow it. Okay, let's see if you can compare and contrast your experience in science with Chris's experience.
So I started doing science fair my freshman year of high school. And the first year I did a plant science project, and it was really last minute, just thrown together for a school fair. And I made it to States, and I didn't know what was happening at States. I didn't know like what could have happened at States, but I won my first award at States, and I was like, oh, there's like money in this, and like there's prizes, and like there's like potential to move further in like your field like interests. So the next year I came back and I did an engineering project, and I was working with Abella to try and improve like navigational aids, and just seeing the impact on that project, and then seeing like the networking possibilities, it it persuaded me to pursue science even further for the next 2 years. And throughout each year, I networked and I made more friends, like Chris said, and I even have other like internship possibilities because of science fair. So just the ability to meet new people, I guess, just changed over the years as I got more comfortable with this fair and talking to others.
Yeah. You know what they say about real estate?
Location, location,
Well, they
location.
say that too. Real estate is not about land. Real estate is about relationships. So I'll turn that a little too and say science, it's science first, but it's not all about science. It's also about relationships. And indeed, we have a show called Research at Manoa, where we have scientists come in every week on Monday. They talk about their projects, and you know what? They're all collaborating with someone else. It's never in a vacuum, and the collaborations are worldwide, which you guys understand. Anyway, let me just make sure I cover all the points here. Brandon is a senior. He's at Mililani. His college plans most likely to attend the University of Washington. Why?
They have a really good computer science program. It's very progressive, and Washington or Seattle is a really nice location to be in.
And your project was a novel, connected, self-controlled wheelchair system for the visually impaired. And you were, getting into engineering questions, electrical and mechanical engineering. Interesting. Why did you select that kind of project?
So the first year I worked with the belt to help aid visually impaired navigate, and the belt was very limited. It didn't really have the proper feedback for individuals, and while I did perform successfully, I thought I could move further. So I started looking at other ways to help visually impaired individuals, and I saw that I could help quadriplegics if I use a wheelchair. So I made an autonomous wheelchair system, which would navigate from point A to point B. But this system, it only navigated from point A to point B. So I wanted to take it one step further again and have a system where visually impaired could have a new means of transportation through a wheelchair system that they control themselves. And it also stems from an interest in autonomous vehicles. So just trying to get my foot in that door, for that area of research, really. It motivated me to go into this project.
So you're going to the National?
Yes.
Oh, good. How do you feel about that? It's a question of confidence, among other things.
For the international.
Yeah.
This year, I'm feeling more confident in the past 2 years. So I have some experience and I can kind of draw from it to hopefully improve my project and presentation this year. And hopefully come home with some awards for Hawaii.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Very good.
Yeah, good. All right. Chris, you notice that Brandon, continues in the same general area of science. He doesn't go from one thing to another.
Well, I figured since I live in Hawaii and there's so many different
It's
areas
diversity
that I
question,
could,
eh?
so many different areas of science that I could study in Hawaii. We have like the best in astronomy with Mauna Kea, and we have an amazing oceanography school at the UH, and we have amazing opportunities for oceanography since we're surrounded by ocean. I figured that I might as well take advantage of all of those and try and milk the science in Hawaii.
Okay, now, we're on the air. This is on the record.
All right.
What's your favorite one?
Well,
See, we can embarrass people and everything.
I see.
well, each one has its own strengths.
Thank you for
Very
that.
good.
It's called dodging the question.
Well, yeah, I really did though like different parts of each separate field of science. Like in meteorology, I really like the data taking of like with weather satellites and things like that. It was really cool to see pictures of the Earth from space. And then with astronomy, I took pictures of space from the Earth, and that was also really cool. But sometimes astronomy can get frustrating when you have clouds and other meteorological issues with your telescope. And yeah. So
This
each
may
one has
help.
its own thing.
Okay, a sophomore at Iolani School. He said he would attend college where there is science and politics and history and free food. In that sequence, I guess.
Yes.
And your project was called Hoho Nukai, an environmental study of Hawaii's marine biota using underwater time-lapse photography. That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. And you're going, of course, to the Nationals.
Yeah, so me and Brandon had the absolute pleasure of going to the International Science and Engineering Fair last year, and that was held in Los Angeles. And this year we're going again to the one held in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Okay, well, there's a lot of steel there, or there used to be. Okay, well, that's great. When are you going? It's in May, isn't it?
Yes,
May 10th
All
through
right, looking forward.
16th is the fair.
10th or 16th.
So 10th through 16th.
Oh,
What do you
okay.
think of these kids? I mean, I had emotional reaction when I walked around with my camera. I kind of love them all.
Yes.
I get very emotional. I think you do too, eh?
I do. You see, we had over 500 projects and kids in there were competing this year. And in the public viewing, we had over 1,000 students coming in to view the displays. The buzz was amazing. And it gives me hope, I don't feel so alone. I've been doing this for 20 whatever years. I don't feel alone when I see that as a scientist.
That's exactly what Neil Atabara said, your predecessor as chair. And I have this on film. He said, if you're feeling down, go to the science fair.
Yes.
You'll feel better. You'll feel optimistic all of a sudden. You'll see the world and humanity as perfectible.
Absolutely.
But you know what? In Hawaii, it's special. I want to offer that thought.
I agree.
In Hawaii, we have these kids, these incredible kids. Okay, we take a minute off. We're going to switch. We're going to rotate the table. Thank you all very much for this half of the program. Good luck to everyone, and we got to do it again and again.
Absolutely. I'm in.
All right, I'm in. You've said that before, I remember. Okay, and Andrea and Chris and Brandon, thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
for having
Jay.
us.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
Aloha.
Inspired by an ancient culture, classical Chinese dance, vigorous physicality, timeless stories, 5,000 years of Chinese music and dance, Shen Yun presents authentic Chinese culture. Coming to Blaisdell Concert Hall, May 8th and 9th. Tickets at shenyun.com or call 808-792-3919.
Hi, aloha. My name is Chris Leatham, and I host a show called The Economy and You. The show plays every Wednesday at noon, and on my show, I bring on guests who are interested or working in the technology space. And so I'd like you to come and watch the show and learn with me about all the sort of exciting things that we're doing in Hawaii to build and grow our economy ecosystem. So I'd like to say aloha, and I look forward to seeing you on the show. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sachiko Slomov. I'm the floor manager of ThinkTech Hawaii here. You can join us on the air every weekday from 1 to 5 or off the air at thinktechhawaii.com. We stream all of our videos and all of our amazing shows at thinktechhawaii.com or on our Ustream channel. You can also check us out on Twitter at ThinkTechHI or Instagram at ThinkTechHI also. I'll be listening and I hope to see you there. Thanks.
Aloha, I'm Keli'i Akina, president of the Grassroot Institute and host on Ehana Kako, a weekly program on the ThinkTech Hawaii broadcast network. Ehana Kako means let's work together. Think of the sad alternative, let's not work together. Here in Hawaii, with all of our diversity and the richness of the people, it's important for us to come together around issues on the basis of what's right and what's good and what's going to serve the common good. And that's what we try to do at Ehana Kako. Every week, we interview movers and shakers, people in government, business, and other sectors of society to talk about how to create together a better government, economy, a better world here in Hawaii that can bless the rest of the world. I thank you for your attention to ThinkTech Hawaii, and we look forward to seeing you every Monday, 2 to 3 p.m. on the ThinkTech Hawaii Broadcast Network. We're Ehana Kako, and we wish you well. Aloha.
Hi, my name is Seymour Kazimirski. I have a show called Seymour's World on ThinkTech Hawaii. Our show is about opening minds and facilitating conversations. To tell you the truth, I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. I have no idea who our guests are going to be, but I guarantee you we're going to have lots and lots of fun. Aloha from Seymour's World.
Mahalo for watching ThinkTech Hawaii. We are a channel dedicated to raising public awareness about the importance of technology, energy, diversification, and globalism to the future of Hawaii. We broadcast and stream daily from 1 to 5 every weekday, and we broadcast on Olelo 54 and OC16 TV. All of our shows are archived on thinktechhawaii.com, and we hope to see you there. Aloha.
Okay, we're back. We're live. I'm Jay Fidell, having a wonderful time here in the last show of our week on a Friday afternoon on what we call Community Matters, because it does. You follow that? Community Matters because it does. Okay, and we're talking about the 2015 Science Fair, Hawaii State Science and Engineering Fair. It took place at the Convention Center a few days ago, and we are lucky and honored enough to have some of the students and winners from that fair. So let's go this way. We have Shannell Naomi Folger. We have Rajeev Cha. Okay, and we have Maveric, Kola, Ikuu, Leialoha, Abella. Okay. So we call you Sam?
Or Duck. Just kidding.
Okay. Now we'll come back. We're going to go down the table here. So the first one, Shannell, is grade 12. James Campbell High School. She's going to go to George Washington University, and that is the same place. And I get it right? Oh no, GW. That's in Washington D.C.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. And her project, you can talk to me more about this, was the detection of substances in e-liquids. You can tell me what that is. Is that like an electronic liquid? And secondhand aerosol from electronic cigarettes. I think the legislature is banning them this year. An opportunity to investigate and to answer a question I had about something I'm genuinely interested, a great start toward pursuing my interests in scientific research and medicine. Oh, okay. Big aspirations. Let's hear about the project.
So I am interested in e-cigarettes as far as, I guess, the societal aspect of it. I did a senior project on it initially, and beforehand, I really didn't know that much about e-cigarettes. In my area of a beach, there was a vaping shop that opened up, so it's like a lounge where people that, they use e-cigarettes, they just come together and just mingle. That opened in Eva, and since then I would see my peers, even those younger than me in the community, using it. I didn't really know what to expect of it because, it's so new, and I have a brother, and he's pretty much being exposed to this rise in popularity of e-cigarettes amongst youth in
Younger
Hawaii.
or older?
Both,
Okay.
honestly. In Hawaii alone, 17.6% of Hawaii high school students have tried the e-cigarette, and 10.1 of them were regular users. So, and that percentage is still rising. And, I just wanted to see for myself, like, what exactly is about the e-cigarette that, gets everyone's attention, and they don't know that much about it either, and so I wanted to figure it out.
Try it?
myself. No, I have not tried it. No.
What about scientific research?
I mean, I let a vacuum vape it
But,
for
you know,
me.
I hate to admit this, I don't know what it is. Could you tell me what it is?
So an electronic cigarette, it's pretty much a device where you can still get the nicotine component that in tobacco cigarettes, that's why people, are addicted to it. And, how they advertise it is that e-cigarettes, you can still get the nicotine fix without all of the bad components associated with tobacco cigarettes. So, the way that they advertise it, it seems like, it's much more, it's harmless versus tobacco cigarettes. So that's like the main point, is the reason why people use it. And it's just like, there's a battery, and then there's a cartridge where you put e-liquid, which is like this oily substance where when they activate the e-cigarette, there's an atomizer that heats up that e-liquid, and then it becomes that big puff of smoke.
So you ingest that smoke, and then you get your nicotine fix.
Yes.
Sounds like it's more complicated than they would tell you. What did you find?
Well, I did have a setback in my experiment where I wasn't able to identify the substances that I was able to find. What I wanted to do was find substances in the e-liquid and the aerosol that it produces. If there are any substances in it that could be potentially harmful, since research has shown that it has, a lot of harmful substances in very minute amounts, but it's still present. And I wanted to see if there was any of that in a popular brand here in Hawaii. And what I went about this by using gas chromatography, which pretty much breaks up all of the components within the e-liquid. And what I found was that...
Gas chromatography?
Yes.
I'm not sure I know what that is either, but hey.
So, yeah, main
You make guesses.
thing, it's a machine where you put in a liquid, and it separates it reads all the different substances within that liquid.
You get them in a Long's drugstore?
Oh,
No, I'm only kidding. Where do you get a gas chromatographer unit thing?
I'm not entirely sure where you could get it, but I was able to get a hold of one at a UH lab.
Okay.
And I was hoping to use a newer one, which would have helped me to identify the substances that I did find, but I did have to use an older model, but it was still, fun to use because I never really dealt with stuff like that before.
So what's the setback you had?
That was the setback. The newer one had a mass spectrometer capability, and that would have allowed you to identify what the substances are in the mixture that you put what you put in the machine.
Okay.
And that one was broken when I came, so I had to use an older one that did not have that capability. So it read all the different substances. It's just it doesn't tell me what it is.
It's really funny. You talk about how the machinery doesn't work, or you can't get the one you want. These issues are not uncommon among graduate scientists too. They have the same problems.
Yeah.
They sit at this table and tell me the same stories. So don't feel that it's just you. They're all suffering the same way. Okay, well, was it fun?
Yeah, it was definitely fun. My mentor, he allowed me to be very hands-on. He didn't really assist me in anything. He said, you handle it. And he just showed me, a run through, and I was able to, conduct my research on my own.
So did you start thinking about medicine before or after you started this project?
Before, I've always aspired to become a physician in the future. As far as research, I haven't really gotten into that until I came to high school. This is only my second time doing science fair, and you know, it's
You're a senior now, huh?
yeah.
Okay. You're not far from medical school. You're 4 years away from medical school. And I hope are you going to come back to Hawaii and be a practicing doctor and be a medical researcher?
That
or have
I'm
you
still
not yet decided?
Yeah, I have not yet decided. Doing science fair, that's really making, you know, that choice, you know, much harder. Like, I have a lot of fun doing the research aspect of it, but I do want to, you know, be able to help people at the same time, so I'm still trying to see which one.
I hope you come back and be a doctor. Well, you can be a research doctor too. There's a lot of wonderful research doctors out there. Some of them were in that program we had where Chris Lindsay appeared, and they have big hearts, just as big as the clinical physicians. Okay, let's move on in the interest of time. Rajeev Cha, a junior at Roosevelt High School, right up the street. A double major, they have that in high school?
Oh, no, for college possible
Okay,
plans,
okay.
yeah.
Biochemistry and neuroscience, ooh, it's heavy. Graduate degree in MD, PhD, oh, both ways.
Yeah.
Attacking it from both ways,
Yeah,
this is good, you know. If you don't like it one way, just go the other way. Biophysical characterization of ARC, A-R-C, I don't know, you have to tell me it is.
Yeah.
Insights into learning and memory, biochemistry. And, okay, so tell us about the project and why you picked it.
Why did I pick it? That's a good start. Last year was my first science fair ever. Actually, I came to Canada. I'm from Canada to Hawaii like last year. And science was something I really wanted to get into. It seemed fascinating just in biology class. And then I worked with fish cancer last year. Fish skin cancer to see how does it happen.
Fish get cancer? Maybe they're smoking too many of those electric cigarettes.
Well, yeah, it was skin cancer. So we looked at to see if we can give them skin cancer with you know, just natural sunlight.
Unkind.
Huh?
How unkind.
Yeah, it was on Chinese catfishes.
Okay.
And then, but nothing happened, so that's a good part. But I noticed that the biochemical aspect of it, because there was the field work and the biochemical aspect, and I really liked the biochemical aspect of it. So this year, and the last summer, I took a course in human anatomy and physiology, and the brain really, sparked me. I wanted to see what's actually happening here. How does learning happen? How does memorization happen? And then I thought, okay, why not do a science fair project on this? I got connected with my mentor, and we worked on a project with neuroplasticity, which just means how different parts of the brain are interacting with each other so we can think and learn. And basically, how everything in our brain happens. In this project, we're trying to identify how does it happen in the first place.
That's cutting edge.
Yeah, it is.
That's what they're doing right up at the front.
Exactly, and I'm so passionate about this field. It's really exciting to see where we can go with this. In this project, we looked at neuroplasticity, which just means different parts of the brains are communicating at different strengths. Sometimes one part of the brain is really active; they're fighting between each other, and sometimes they're not. And in the project, we're trying to see, okay, what proteins are actually involved in this, so we can have this happen, right? Because we know what happens, but we're not sure how does it happen, which proteins are interacting to see why it happens. And in this project, we identified, or that ARC, that protein we know, is interacting with other proteins called PIC1 and dynamin, so we can think and learn and understand why many diseases such as like schizophrenia can happen or Fragile X can happen. So the possibility of this project is so diverse. If we can figure out how every step is happening, then you can possibly even cure or treat the diseases.
You're on it.
Yeah,
and you're not going to change your focus either.
God, no.
Like some people we know.
I see. No, but
shout out to Chris Lindsay.
Yeah. But no, yeah. I mean, I want to get an MD PhD in neuroscience, so this is a really good project for me, and I want to see where I can go with this. It's maybe working with E. coli smells a bit, but honestly, it's really fun, and I just want to see where I can go.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't see a. Well, you're a junior, so you haven't.
Yeah, no.
You haven't, had that experience yet.
No.
Where are you gonna go? Do you know?
Well, I have a list of 30 and got to whittle it down. I have no idea where I'm going to go, but it's going to be a long process. It's going to be a long summer, I'm guaranteeing.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Why, though? Why?
Why 30?
No, why are you doing this?
Because it's so cool. Like, trying to understand why does everything happen. Learning is so complex to see, okay, how are we going to learn? We take it for granted, okay, I can read that, I can understand it. But how are we understanding? Because, not every other organism on Earth can, that's what makes us special. And to see why is every single aspect interacting with each other, And that's what makes it special. To figure out how are we special and why exactly we're special, that's really cool.
Okay, I need a percentage answer now.
Okay.
Let's assume you get into a really good school on the mainland. Let's assume you do really well. Let's assume you take a PhD in this kind of research or in medicine, just like Shannell, okay? And then the question is, are you going to come back here?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Of course.
Why not?
Did you hear how quickly he answered
No,
that?
this is like the best
wow,
place
from the
on earth.
gallery. That's fantastic.
Why not?
Of course. Why not?
This is
You have to help us build the state, right?
I
And
mean,
make nirvana out of it,
Yeah. I mean, because I'm also part of HOSA, right? Future Health Professionals, and obviously that's what we're going to do. We're going to impact Hawaii people everywhere. And with me, I hope to do it with science and medicine combined together to impact every single, citizen in the state.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can't decide which one of you guys I want to be my doctor, but I'll talk to you both later.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, now our last special guest, Maveric, Kola, Ikuu, Leialoha, Abella. What a fantastic name.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you go by Maverick.
Yeah, usually go by Maverick.
Which is actually your legal name.
Yes.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, senior. Okay, Kamehameha Schools at the Kapalama campus.
Yep.
College plans, Columbia. Ooh.
Well, right
Ooh.
now I'm kind of leaning for it. It's kind of a throw up between two schools right now, so Columbia and
Qu'est-ce que
Dartmouth.
c'est l'autre?
Hmm?
What's the other one?
Dartmouth.
Dartmouth?
I don't know yet. Oh, and UH. That's always an option.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay. You don't have that much time. You have to commit.
Oh
on
yeah. Why do they do that? They give me a month.
that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so maybe
Can we
first.
help you? Give you advice? What?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay. Let's get advice from Shannell. Where should she go? Should she go to Columbia, Dartmouth, or UH? Just whatever your gut reaction is.
I mean, whatever your interest is in, whichever.
We want to be
Okay.
helpful here. How about you, Rajeev?
Take a map, get some darts, and just go.
Okay, and now in your case, let's see, it was PEA-15 regulates cell migration in glioblastoma. That's nasty, isn't it?
That is.
Via integrin trafficking. Is it like drug trafficking?
No.
It's just the opposite. Yeah. Cell and molecular biology. So, okay, sophisticated. What is it?
Okay, so my project. I guess the easiest way to explain this is, have you watched Fault in Our Stars? No, the movie?
No.
Oh, it's a really popular movie. Okay, in the end, the male role, he dies of a type of cancer. And it's not a cancer that, in one area, it actually metastasized to other areas. So that's how he ended up passing away. So that's the kind of cancer incidence that I focus on. And it's an incidence called metastasis. So metastasis occurs when cells from a primary tumor mass invade other areas of the body. So looking at cell migration is basically the focus of my project, and I identify a protein called PEA-15 that can regulate cell migration in glioblastoma, which is cancer found essentially in the brain. So a little more into it, I basically show that PEA-15 is a protein necessary for proper cell migration. And I look a little more into the mechanism that can regulate this because that's essentially the next step. And it's something called integrin trafficking. So if you can imagine a cell, and a cell with what can be considered the feet in a sense, and these are these structures called integrins. So integrins at a trailing edge of a cell essentially internalize and recycle towards the leading edge of a cell, reattach to the microenvironment, and this contracts the cell forward. So that's essentially how a cell moves. I've been able to stain PEA-15 and these integrins and watch them actually co-traffic within the cell together. So that suggests that there is a possible interaction between this protein and, again, the feet of the cell, and that is possibly how it regulates cell migration.
Wow, cutting edge also. Is this that fast-growing cancer, brain cancer?
Brain cancer?
It doubles over in a matter of weeks, that one?
Matter of weeks, usually. Well, it is a highly invasive cancer, that's for sure. But there are other cancers that actually multiply a lot quicker.
There was a piece on 60 Minutes, I think it was, recently, using polio vaccine. No kidding. Injecting polio vaccine into the center of the tumor. And over time, This was out of, where was it, Tufts, I think. Over time, this actually had an ameliorative effect. There's lots of science
Really?
going on in that area.
Yeah,
And I guess those are very
glioblastoma.
threatening cancers. And, we need the science in those areas.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And not only that, too, but Native Hawaiians, I do go to commitment schools, so I am Native Hawaiian. I found out that Native Hawaiians have the second highest cancer mortality rate than any other ethnic group in America.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, first is, well, in terms of women, it's Alaskans, and males, it's Hispanics. But, I mean, Native Hawaiians have the second highest.
But you must have a theory about why that is.
I do. I've been through a couple of talks, especially at the Cancer Center, and I think a lot of it has to do with, I hate to say this, but denial and lack of actually checking it up, because that's rejection of Western medicine as well. I've seen. I know my family doesn't exactly take medicine, I don't know, just
Don't
typical.
let that stop you.
Oh yeah, no, that's gives me more reason to help.
Yeah. So I guess you've already at least half answered my question about why. Why?
Oh yes, why? I am planning on coming back here to Hawaii. It is my home.
Yeah.
Help my community, especially the Native Hawaiians.
Yeah.
And that is basically my reason for going away for college, getting a good education, coming back, helping out. Giving back. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you think, Rajeev? What do you think of Shannell and also Maverick? What do you think? What are your impressions of them?
Well, I already know her from HOSA, and she was right beside me at this fair, and I got to know both of them, and they're pretty cool. Like, they represent pretty much what Science Fair has been for me, just meeting people all over the state. And I'm kind of excited for internationals, because at Hawaii State it was so amazing. Imagine at internationals, meeting people from all over the world, and it's going to be great.
Yeah, we are lucky that we have you. Hawaii has its troubles, and everybody says, oh, there's shrinking Aloha spirit, and we make all these mistakes, and we can't fix the potholes on the roads, But at the end of the day, we have you, all of you. We love you. You are all our children.
Oh, that's the nicest compliment I received today.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
The first three talk, but they're...
Okay, we gotta close. We're gonna close, we're done. I just had to say that. And we've had 5 today. Most recently Maverick and Rajeev and Shannell. And we also had at the beginning, we had Andrea Fleig, and we had Brandon, and we had Christopher, and we are delighted to have had you on the show. Thank you very much for telling us about your projects and your thoughts and your future. And we wish you all well, all of you. We wish you well.
Thank you.
Thank you.